And that's the beauty thing about that experience. It was 20 years after. I have to redefine who I was.
Would you say that was a point where you were very clear about your definition of your female within your clothing? So that allowed you then to define a female in perfume or a perfume?
No, it was the opposite. I thought I was becoming. I unplugged it. I was becoming that person that thought like a parent. You know so much because you're the parent. You know what you are, and it's going to be that way. And your kid is 20, and it's just like, I can't do that anymore to my kid. I have to become open about what I learned from my kid. And the connection and the company and 20 years of career obliged me to think, I have to learn again. I have to learn new things to be that person. And the perfume was the best thing as a symbol, it was the best thing to do.
So the joy was exploring what smells you would put together?
The joy was to shit myself and to start again and to believe, because I think the beauty of not knowing is to believe that something will happen of it.
Yeah.
And not to be in competition with anybody, not to try to think, oh, I want to be the next Angel, or this perfume that has made so much cash, because I'm not with the big group that's been, let's do a perfume and I asked one thing to Etienne, can I work with a woman as a nose? And he said, we think about someone for you, and it was Daniela Andrier. And the first thing Daniela told me, said, if you expect to create a perfume that nobody has done, you're wrong. Everything has been done. You're going to give your expression of a smell, and that was so liberating for me to not feel in competition with the other perfume.
And it's interesting you use the word, if I may interrupt you, you use the word expression of a smell, because do you not feel that's a reflection in a way of your clothes that are an expression of a woman? I mean, I find quite a similar trajectory with that, Roland.
I think I protect myself all the time by not become someone who imposed. I don't want to do clothes that impose on women to be that woman. I don't want to do a perfume to impose on someone to be that person. That's I think the difference I have with Mugler when he did Angel. That perfume was imposing someone. When someone was walking in the street and smelled Angel, you were like, where's the drama queen? Where is she? It was like, it was
or never, the drag queen.
Or the drag queen. But it was all the time something you were looking for that character.
So then,
and I never wanted to do perfume that imposed that.
And I think that's very fair to say about the clothes, because your clothes are clothes that a woman can't put on and feel a woman, but they can be any type of woman they want to be. So in a way, it feels like there's a really parallel trajectory with the perfume.
But the woman is never in competition with someone else in my clothes. She just defines herself, and I think I realize I hate to be in competition because I don't want to lose. And I think we hate sometimes experience because we don't want to lose them. We don't want to come second, or we don't want even to be not even succeeding. And when experience arrives in your life where you don't compete, or the only person you compete is yourself, that's how much you lose, you win. It's brilliant.
So, well, then let's talk about some ingredients. Let's talk a little bit about the ingredients.
Oh my God, do you want me to put... I've got my list. Remember all of them.
Okay.
I've got my list of ingredients.
Actually, really, I'm interested. Do you want to just read out the ingredients? Most of you know the ingredients, but for those that don't.
It's pink peppercorn, cardamom. I don't know what it is.
It's a spice.
It's a spice, because that was the idea of Lourdes.
Yes.
Because I was born in Lourdes, near the factory that were doing the candles, and they all have that really strong religious smell.
Yeah, incense and
that's why we have cardamom. Neroli, patchouli, indole, peach, iris, archigalawood, vanilla, and rose.
So you've talked about why you have that spicy in there. What other smells from Lords do you really feel? Were these smells that you went in there and said to Danielle, look, these are smells that really mean something to me? Or did you just give her a brief?
We went from different smell with Daniela, and it's really funny because the moment you speak about smell, it's memory. You never express a smell without expressing a moment you smell that. That's mean there's a moment you say, oh, that smell, and straight away there is a story coming out, and it's a moment of your life. And it proves of how much smell is part of a language, it's a book.
Yeah.
And some of them were quite important because actually, as an example, was from all the smell was the smell I hate.
Yeah.
I hate because and I think if you do perfume, you have to have something. You have to put something you hate because what defines us is what we like and what we hate. Because if we just show what we like, most of the time everybody choose the same thing. It's by adding what you hate what makes who you are. And partially for me was like school, 14. Physical transformation, all the girls starting to put patchouli to define their sexuality, and that mix of hormone and patchouli at school was just like, oh my God, it was like...
I'm with you, I hate
have
patchouli.
a share, girls, but it was like, really like, go for it. But patchouli was so strong, and plus 70s, a certain kind of patchouli was present, and the memory of it will be all the time really powerful because it was my transformation too. It was my fear to become who I was going to become. And the smell of patchouli would be all the time related to that sexual transformation.
I just want to just pause on patchouli because patchouli is also a smell I can't abide, and yet every perfume I love has patchouli in. So did you see through the blending of the perfume how patchouli is used almost to hold it rather than initially for the actual smell of patchouli? It's almost like an alchemy.
The alchemy.
Alchemy, yeah. There's an alchemic or something.
The thing with Daniela, the first thing I say to Daniela is, my only way to do that perfume, because I don't know anything, is I refuse all the paper tester. I say I can't, because you smell everything and nothing. Is my skin, your skin, my skin, you're a man, I'm a man, you're a woman, is our skin. And it's just transfer, the mental, physical transfer of that smell.
Yeah.
That smell that is going to be the reason why we choose. And yes, it's got the side of alchemy. It's got the side of taking gold, taking metal and becoming gold. You know, it's really weird. It's that journey of a smell.
It's interesting you say metal because I find this quite metallic, quite animalic in the middle. Was that something you purposely felt quite strongly about? Because I assume that what happened is, as you worked with Daniela, you discovered smells.
But Daniela, it's really funny how we fell in. There is this kind of love story, a fling, because the name of the perfume, Cent and Roland Mouret, again, that was the name I was bullied at school with because it's a feminine name. There's my name, Mouret, inside it. It means a fling. And because it's feminine, the kids are, it was a way to say, you're different. And that word I put in my pocket and said, one day, I promised myself I will use it. It's something, it will never defeat me. Yeah. And it's really funny. And when I came out with it, the concept of a fling, and we have so many fling in life. You have this moment where it's so private. It's a fling. And with Daniela, we had a fling, men, women, our job. We really loved the fact that we were two different gendered. You know, like I love her femininity. I love the fact that she was so powerful as a nose because she was a woman.
Yeah. Do you think there was almost like a sexual friction building the perfume?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
it was all about that sexuality. And I said to her, I want the smell of the armpits. I want the smell of the genital. You know, that smell that you say, oh, but when you're with your partner, is present. Yeah. It's all the time present. It's, you know, is so there, and it has to be symbolized in the perfume.
So you're saying there's quite a lot of raw sexuality in there. That it depends on each person that puts it on. I find it quite...
There is quite... It's a relationship. It's the moment you are with someone, you live through what they give you and what they reject. The smell is there. You know.
So do you spray it on James, your husband?
James spray himself.
Do you like to sniff him in it?
It's really funny when James uses it because he's got other one from Italie de Roche, but when you wear mine, I say, oh, you are my fault. It's really nice.
Sorry, I laughed so much I fell off a chair. Sorry.
You're a midget.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
Oh my God.
My feet don't reach the floor.
The years you are going clubbing and pulling on a stool is over.
Yeah, I know, darling. That's another conversation. Do you think... actually, I've sort of... There's something very interesting, and I don't know how many people here know much about your fashion journey as much, but for me, there is a real kind of common ground of the way the clothes work and the way the perfumes work. Do you think you were aware of that?
Yeah, because it's based on mistake.
Well, can you explain to people what you mean by mistake?
Because I never went to school as a fashion designer. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I had to do it. And the perfume is the same thing. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had to do it. But yes, the only way to say it's finished is when Daniela and I say, hey, it's finished, it's us. There is no other person who will arrive and say, we perfume. No, until we decide it's finished, we decide it's finished. And it's really hard to explain it with words because when you're creative, it's an automatism of defining when you start and when you're finished, and nobody is there to judge it.
No, absolutely. It's a very any creative journey is very personal, and you know within yourself. But did you give it to James? Did you give it to anybody in development?
Yes.
And what was that experience like?
I gave it to her, and it was really funny because I wear it myself in development. People were stopped. I don't know why. Maybe because it was still in development and it was not the final production. But maybe it was a bit stronger. People were stopping me. People was like, men and women. It was really weird because it was proving the journey. But the little story is the perfume was harder than that because we didn't, at the time, the last ingredient was how much is on the second line, it was the neroli flower.
Interesting, that was the last.
The last, because it came on a really weird thing because as much she was the nose, Daniela, and I was the designer, she was the woman, I was the man, and we were like, okay, it's near finished. We don't know what, but we know it's near finished. And I was in Paris, went back to the Eurostar, and she called me and she said, you have to come back. I said, what? She said, I didn't tell you. I had a sunburn. When you left, I went to the pharmacy to buy an oil for my sunburn. And when the oil touched the trial on my hand, and the oil was based on neroli flower, she said, the perfume is finished. I was like, it's brilliant. Because it's not the nose finishing the perfume, it's the woman. It's the woman through heat, burn of her skin, through everything. I believe that perfume has to exist is from something alive that is all the time in reaction. Our skin reacts all the time. From that moment, you finish the perfume. And I went back to see her. I took my Eurostar later. But it was brilliant.
And what was that feeling like when you got back and you smelt it with the neroli? Did you go, yeah, I get it?
I was surprised. I was really surprised because we were looking for that note. Because before it was the iris, other note was the starting note of the perfume. And it was like taking you there, and after you were finishing on the patchouli. It's really funny because it looks like you run through a field of flowers and you enter the forest, and the humidity of the forest come to you. I've seen it all the time as a journey of running through a valley of flowers and entering the forest. But the flowers were all together there, and it was like, I don't know what to start with. And the patchouli was at the end after taking over and say, but the narrow start. You feel the narrow straight away. After
it gives it that fresh fizz at the beginning, doesn't it?
And I loved it, but it makes it straight away more feminine.
Yeah.
I think women feel like, orange.
Yeah.
Love that. But men love it too. It's orange blossom is something that fits men and women, and I was like, not even liking it. I was like, it's magical. It's something. Something is happening here.
Do you talk about men and women wearing it?
Yeah.
You consider it unisex because it
No.
No?
Unisex is for young people who don't have any life experience, and you give them the smell. You give them the smell of an oyster, and they're happy. Hashtag Kevin Klein.
CK1.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a woman perfume that men can wear. It's that decision to you don't allow to the rules of your gender to go for it. And I think it's quite fantastic to, if a guy wear it and go through that line with a female perfume, with a woman perfume that men can wear, he is right in his time. It's completely open to what women stand for now.
So in a funny way, it's very
there
just
is
like
no
clothes.
passive side. There is no. It's not flowery for women. It's a woman perfume. It's you equal. I designed it for a woman, but men can wear it. And I think the strength of that is important.
Right, well, let's move on to these. You have done 50 bottles only with an artist. Can you tell us how that... Yes, with Layman Lachine. Lachine. Pardon.
Layman is French, and I met him years ago. And
one bottle's going around. Sorry, let me pass the other, because there are two different styles in two colours.
You know, when you want... It's that concept of launching a product when you launch it and it's gone and you have to launch another product. And I didn't want to launch another perfume. I didn't want to think. It's really funny that concept. One product in time that people have to experience, and you have to give a new story about it. And the first thing in the perfume, they say, create a new box or a new bottle, and it's Valentine's Day. I don't want to start to create more shit
that the world doesn't need.
Plastic, sustainable. I think it's not interesting. It's not at the core of who I am. And I say, why not asking to an artist to give his point of view about a fling? What's a fling for him, and why he should draw it or paint it on the bottle, because it becomes even more personal, more unique, a moment in time, like a fling. A fling is a moment in time, and I think it was brilliant to ask and to do it with Layman, because.
Well, let's go back. How did you meet Layman? Where do you know him from?
I met him at Sketch.
Yeah.
Through friends. Mourad loves him.
Yeah, I was going to say through Mourad.
I don't know if he's Algerian or Moroccan, but he's a fantastic guy, young guy, and really, when I met him, he was this kind of old young person, because he's young, but inside you feel he's an old man.
You say like an old soul.
He's an old soul, and he, the project was right for him, because I've seen his drawing. He's got a kind of Cocteau attitude of his work. It's really French, and I really like his point of view for drawings, and he's a clever person, and I thought, he's a
nice person to collaborate with.
Yeah.
So there are two different drawings in two colours, and there are 50 bottles, and each one is hand drawn.
Yes.
Why did you go down that route? Why did you just not do like? No, but why 2 drawings? Why not 6 drawings? What can you tell us a little bit about the journey?
Because I think that become really just he did different drawings. I think the moon and the sun and the petal are really significative of a fling. You know, it's something that the symbols of it were perfect, and we stop on that. And there is something to that. I didn't want him in that repetition of drawings. It become, I don't want more than 50 because after it become a production, I wanted to have something really like
intimate.
Yeah, a little something really a little jewelry like that.
Yeah.
50 of them, he can do them in his time and his hand. It's really funny when you draw. The repetition of the movement is becoming you enjoy it to a certain moment.
Yeah, and then you get irritated, and then as the last 5 come, you go, oh yeah. So what brief did you give him? Did you have the
just Cent Mouret, and just do what you. He's French. He knows what Cent Mouret means. And,
so you think an English artist wouldn't understand a fling?
Oh, for God's sake, Miss Brexit. Yeah.
I'm not Miss Brexit. As if. No, but you have, what's the 5 to 7 hour called in French?
What?
The 5 to 7 hour, it has a name in French. We don't have that.
Cinq à sept?
Yes.
Yeah.
When Frenchmen go and shag their secretaries and then they go home to the wife.
Yeah.
It actually has a term in French.
And they are hotels.
Yeah, they're all going.
And 5 to 7 hours.
Yeah.
No, it's called the 5 to 7.
In the 80s, you have hotel that they were the Cinq à sept hotel. They were just working from 5 to 7 o'clock.
And it has its own phrase in French.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It should be a next perfume, Cinq à sept.
Well, that brings me actually to my next question. Because I do want to make sure there's time for people to ask questions. Will you do other perfumes? Was the journey interesting enough? Do you feel enlightened by it?
I think a perfume, like I said, from the story of someone like Chanel, or the big story of perfume. A perfume is like a child. It's really a child. And how many kids do you want in your life? I think I really enjoy my journey with that child, and maybe one day will be another one. But
yeah, maybe when they get to teenage, you'll go, I want a toddler now.
No. But I really think it will. That perfume has so much right to exist and to grow on a day-by-day basis. And every time someone tries it and like it and wear it, that perfume is growing. And I think just by respect of this profession, because it's not my profession, it's something I'm learning. I think I'm really proud of the perfume that stands in his own feet and means something.
Just out of interest, how long did the perfume take to develop?
4 months.
4 months. Okay, so that's not that short. Not that long. It's quite short, 4 months.
In timing, but I'm the kind of person, and Daniela would say yes, no. We don't lose time on that.
And the bottle, the gold to silver ombre?
Bottle is normally is that's where Italian d'Orange stay coherent. It's all the time the same bottle, but I wanted to metal to gold is that transformation, that alchemic transformation to metal to gold that make it gold, and plus the duality of men and women is everything about transformation and duality. And
then finally, how long did the project take with you and can I even pronounce his name wrong? Layman, yeah.
Layman was you are late.
Yeah, we've nearly finished, Emma.
Sit down with us.
Emma, sit down.
That's fine. It's really funny because it took like 1 month, 2 months.
Right. So it was a very organic, it happened.
It has to happen that way. It's like meeting. It's a fling.
It's a fling
still in your life.
We'll talk about that later. Okay, well, I hope that gives you a good overview of everything. So I think it's really important that you get to ask Roland instead of me asking Roland questions.
It's really important you ask me something Philippe said.
Yeah. No, but I don't want to feel like I want you to have the space to...
Such a good Jewish mama. Yeah. You did it to me for 2 years. It's quite important.
I'll ask one quickly.
Thank you.
You were talking a lot about Daniela, which obviously makes sense, but you didn't mention Etienne at all. And I was just wondering where he comes into the process.
Etienne was really elegant because you know Etienne.
Yeah.
You know the strength of Etienne. You know the language of it. Etienne is really powerful, and Etienne gave me his trust, even to decide the amount of ingredients. He said there is no limit on what you want to do, and it's really funny because that's why I forget to talk about Etienne, because Etienne was so powerful in the story that he let us do what we wanted. And he gave me an opportunity where, at the end of it, he said, it's really funny, we don't have any of that kind of mix in our perfumes.
Yeah, it's very different from all of
It
those.
was really like, I could come back with something that a bit similar of one of, and we didn't, and it was like that sense of equality. But Etienne his language is so French, and his language is so amazing that he's powerful. You know.
But did he say end, like even at the end, did he say, "Oh, I like it, but"?
Never. I was even sometimes not to say, "You sure in Mouret it will work for that?" Because in Mouret is really feminine, and that perfume, he said, stay where you decide. It kept me completely like without influence. There was no influence of him. It was quite surprising that the freedom he gave me. He gave me that amazing place and said, "Go for it. I trust you. You and Daniela, nothing wrong can happen." And thus,
So
I don't think it's L'Oréal would give me that. You know what I mean?
Did Etienne choose Danielle for you?
He proposed Danielle to me. But he knew the kind. We know each of us. We met. He knew the kind of woman I needed to have in front of me.
What that woman is? What? Describe her for us.
A woman who enjoyed to be a woman.
Strong.
If she enjoyed to be a woman, why she has to be strong? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I'm not really surprised that Etienne let you free, because you've got great taste, so whatever you're going to sniff would have been good. But anyway, that's not my question. I love this fragrance. I think it's really beautiful.
Thank you.
I wondered if, when you're creating clothes, you're looking at texture, print, touchy-feely stuff, thinking about shape. Did you bring any of that to the fragrance?
We made a mistake. Daniela came to London and came to see space, and the week after I came back, she twisted the perfume, and it was so wrong. So wrong to see that space for what it stands becoming a perfume, because it became between the line, it became really like an Arabic perfume. What she saw here, that sense of opulence, was because what you see as clothes here, for me, they're jeans. I see a pair of jeans. I see glamorous best friend that you trust and you can wear and you zip yourself in. You don't need to. But the world of Roland Mouret, when you enter it, you see something else. And honestly, Daniela, if there is one thing that perfume doesn't need to be, is to follow what you saw at Carlos Place and to follow what my customer is. Because I'm touching the inside of that customer. I'm touching that woman when she was 15 and decide that I'm not going to become what you tell me to be. I'm going to become that woman. And that's where it was brilliant to make that mistake, because when I said, it's a new perfume, I said, no, I said, Daniela, let's go back to this. And let's forget that moment, that week in London when you came to see.
I think that, if I may interject and say that, for me, having known Roland's fashion career and now the perfume, for me there is a very, very clear parallel vision between the perfume and the clothes. For me, it's absolutely indistinguishable. It was never, if Roland said, I'm going to do a perfume, I would never expect it to smell like this, but smelling it, hearing the story. So, Susie.
I was going to say, it is a very unexpected fragrance, I think. There's nothing obvious about it.
Yeah,
and I think if I'd imagined, as you say, what your perfume would smell like, I wouldn't have imagined that. But that sounds like it was really important to you, that it was true, that it wasn't some bullshit fake story that you
No,
made up, that it's like a fabric or
But
sequence.
you know, one day I came to an interview and with journalists, and I just realized, I never imagined you won't like the perfume. I never imagined and when I heard how many interviews you're going there, sometimes the perfume is crap and you have to embellish the story.
Yeah.
I never imagined that people could say, I could imagine some people say, it's not me. Because you have to accept in perfume there is some people from this, it doesn't work, it's not me. But not liking just what that perfume, I could never imagine it. And I was really like, wow, because I went to interviews really happy because I said, we're going to have a good moment. But I said, if one day a journalist doesn't like it, it's going to be tough.
Well, I love it as well. I think everyone I know who's worn it, and it seems to smell different on me every time I wear it as well. There's different aspects of it come through. So, again, it's not obvious. It's not one of those fragrances you put on and you
it's
know
not
it.
obvious. And I think regarding your temper, your hormonal side of it, it changes. And sometimes I put it on and straight away it's just the patchouli come and say, wow, it's strong. And sometimes I just feel the narrowing. It's really weird because it really explains our complexity.
Yeah.
Because we are that. We consider that and that more important, and we don't know as much about our nose. And it's just like, oh, you buy it at the airport and you buy a bottle and that's good to know. It's amazing.
It's going to smell different depending on how hot your body is, because different molecules will release off your skin slower or quicker, because that's how atoms work. And I can't say I really understand.
Often with like when fashion brands do kind of fragrances, you find that it's like people buy them as like almost like it's like a way to have a piece of Roland Mouret without actually being able to afford one of your amazing dresses, right? People buy it as a kind of like aspirational, right? Do you think that the customers of this fragrance have a lot of your customers like responded well to this? Who do you think the customer is?
My customer responded really well to it, and it's really funny how. Thank you to come.
Sorry.
It's really funny because I don't think people buy it or women buy it because they can't buy the dress.
Yeah.
Maybe once, but no, I can't see women buying it because the moment you have it, however it's called Roland Mouret Talib d'Orange, you own the perfume, you own the smell, and the relationship with that smell become yours. My name is not strong enough in the perfume world to just say, oh, I've got the last Baccarat. It's not. But my nephew was in his 20s, just absorb it. He said, I don't have enough. And he started, and he said, I love it a lot on me, a lot. And it's really funny how that kids start to use that perfume in a way that it becomes so personal with it. I really think from my clothes, and that it's the same story. The moment you come to it and you own it, it's not the name anymore, it's your story with it. And I think I succeed on that, on the story with the perfume.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to understand, like, regular customers that come in and buy the clothes a lot. Have you had feedback from any of them?
Because they buy it for them, they buy it for their husband, they buy it for presents. He entered that world, but the thing is, that perfume deserves a bigger, not a bigger life. I think it needs a lot. It's like a kid. It's like maybe small like that. It's like to school next to the house. But one day it's going to become a teenager. It's going to go to university, and it's a bigger world. And I think that perfume should have a bigger life. That perfume, it will be nice to see, for me, in 10, 15 years or 20 years, the life of that perfume.
Yeah.
You know, it's. There are perfume like grey flannel that exists. It was so nice for me to own in the last bottles of that perfume, and the perfume doesn't exist, even if Tom Ford tried to pretend to revamp it. But
I respect your choice so much to not do another scent.
Yeah.
Because, and also I loved what Daniela said to you, because I say that all the time. I work in fragrance and I genuinely feel like most scents have been made. Like,
Yes.
But then it's just what you can bring to that.
Your interpretation. It's very rare as well these days that you let a perfume have
It's time.
its time.
But you know,
it's precious.
and you know,
Like you need
I
another
was cheating myself a bit because at the same time, just before me, a couple of fashion designer parties came out, and they were this designer I really respect. And when I smell them, I was like, wow, how much I love Asdin, but when I smell the parfum, it's an idea of what it's a caricature of Asdin. It's not Asdin.
Yeah.
And the Lanvin perfume, that was another thing. I was expecting, I would take me, and the story was not there. I was lucky. Well, I've been a lot of time lucky in my life. I was lucky when I lost my name to come back without my name and to be, I think, the only designer who took back the business with his initial and to take back the charisma of the brand and to buy the name. There are so many things I've done that outside of the blueprint, and I succeed. Like I said, I compete with myself, and that perfume, I'm proud, and it will exist. And the thing I don't know is how people like you can carry that, because you godmothers and the godfather was there. You make that perfume exist. You make that people understanding. And how do you see a perfume like that to talk every year about it, considering his age of 1 year more, and say, but still on that platform, is it still relevant? Or is it not relevant? It's quite, the journey is interesting for me, because it's not the answer is not to bring another perfume to say, hey guys, new baby, this one's got.
But maybe another collaboration of some sort for something like 50 bottles, a different type of collaboration.
Yeah,
or
it can go to other things. You know, with Etienne, there are so many elements in that story that could be completely becoming a gimmick. You know, you could have different kind of flings. You could have an Arabic fling. We had another ingredient. You could have any kind of fling. But at the moment, here, for me, it's perfect. It's really like.
You've made the statement.
All the freedom and all the not restriction, but the compromise, because the bottle was a compromise. For someone who designed a perfume to be free on the scent, but to say, the bottle has to stay that bottle. I'm lucky to be my age and to not be, my ego was not touched by that. Imagine a young designer, I can design my fucking bottle. They would hate it because they think the bottle is more important. And I was like, they cannot completely get it. That's why I can do it with you. I'm going to try to find a way to make it mine in there. And we did it, and that's a brilliant situation.
Just going back to the flavors, I was interested to know whether you think this is the kind of fragrance that would layer, or whether you would encourage it to be layered with other stuff. Because I remember you were talking about orange, and I was thinking about orange sanguine from Atelier Cologne, just thinking.
I don't know. You have to tell me because I said again, I don't know how. You know, I don't know if you could mix it with something else. I don't. It would be. It would be quite interesting because that's where if to tell me what you will pair it with another perfume, because I didn't find anything to pair it with. I put it on me straight away. I'm complete with that.
Yeah.
It's really funny, but I love when people pair perfume to create their own perfume. I don't know this one, what is missing from it, that the moment you put it on, it gives you
a different facet.
I think it would be quite interesting. I think there is a fair.
There's a story there.
There is a weekend in the party.
There's a dirty weekend.
Probably with a mix. It's like wine and well, my mix, and you as a panel, you could be the judge, say best mix.
All right, we'll do that over cheese and wine and mine.
It's interesting that actually, like a lot of consumers, sorry to interrupt you, Jim, that they're starting to use fragrance from more of an aromatherapy perspective, and they're trying to sort of supplement their like daily existence by like fragrances to wake them up, fragrances to de-stress, neroli being one of them.
But again, it's everything about marketing.
Yeah.
I took the same one than the way I started doing clothes. I did clothes. The moment I love in fabric is when you have sex with someone you love and you have no problem to wrap yourself in a piece of fabric. You have no inhibition. You feel comfortable for what you like and what you don't like. And that perfume is the same thing. It's the scent. It's the same moment as the smell of two people together in a certain way. That's it. I choose my moment all the time through fabric and through smell. But people choose that. You're right. It's how to feel well. But they did in the 80s. They did the same thing with cocaine. That's you had. In New York, it was quite trendy for the drug dealers to give you different kind of mix.
That's a whole nother affair.
Well, would you say that working on this has kind of creatively reinvigorated you? What can you bring from the process to your designs? And do you think fashion needs to embrace multi-sensory experiences a little bit more in this area?
I think in a world where we are so many of us lucky to do a job or the same thing, or working in fashion, or working in a creative environment, it's really important that for existing is to be different. That's what everything has to be about. All this kind of contradiction of yourself to make you exist. Like I said, I put patchouli in it because if I just put the same flowers, you won't be there today. You will be like, okay, nice flowers, a bit of narwhal. And the contradiction of patchouli and narwhal flowers make that story. And everything, I really think the moment you push yourself outside of the box, you have a better chance to exist.
Do you think in regard to doing a perfume in one creative field pushed you in maybe a different direction in a different creative field? Do you think somehow it might have affected the way you designed a dress or a pair of trousers? Did it affect you?
Every experience obliges you to, you're obliged to absorb it and to exist through the journey,
Yeah. Everything touches everything. It all becomes...
It's too late.
Yeah. Right, any other questions? Melanie?
Do you have any plans to collaborate with Lehman further, Lehman Group for a design or anything like that? Or is it just a one-off?
With
the artist,
with Talib d'Orange?
Yeah.
We talked from the beginning because we were so happy. And now it's like, it's amazing. It's number 2 of sales of the Talib d'Orange, which is brilliant.
Amazing.
And it's just like, now it's like the kid at school. Let's give him the best life that kid can have. And that's why we're doing tonight. It's really nice to see you, and because I'm sure I met some of you that when I launched it, but it's really nice to carry on and to see how that kid is going to evolve.
And what about the artist that designed?
Lehman?
Yeah.
Lehman.
Would you do anything close-wise with him?
Would you collaborate other hands?
You know, everything. I'm not the kind of person that block myself. However, I will say no first. He allowed me to think and to say yes. I'm the kind of person I say no because I want to say yes.
Can you explain that?
I will say no to something. Trust me, no is the first answer because he allowed me to think and to change my mind.
Right, so it gives you time to process.
Yes.
Right.
And I hate when people say yes and they say no after, which more Italian factory do that.
China manufacturing,
They do that. No, but it's everything is possible. Everything is really possible in that journey. That really is brilliant because I'm not blocking myself.
Ladies, any questions? Because I kind of feel like you might want to do some... Oh, more. Okay, yeah. And then Susie, last two.
Roland, what other fragrances do you wear?
Yeah, we're all down to like that, actually.
That one, not, but
I will wear. I was wearing before État d'Orange. I was wearing Son of God, which I really like. For a long time, I wear Dior Homme. Now, no, I won't. And the one I'm really fanatic was Grey Flannel. Grey Flannel was that was really amazing.
Susie.
I was going to ask a similar question.